A warm welcome to Disky Talk with Liolo. If you're tuning in for the very first time, I do ask that you please subscribe and hit that notification bell. If you've been a part of this journey, I hope you thoroughly enjoy this episode. So, on today's episode, I discuss all things Mamelodi Sundowns and Abdelmounaim Boutouil. So, Mamelodi Sundowns then have been linked to Moroccan centre-back Abdelmounaim, and on today's episode, we're going to have a look at his qualities and how would he fit in to Mamelodi Sundowns, and of course, have a look then at his skill set. So, when you do have a look then at Abdelmounaim, this is a left-sided centre-back, so he is left-footed. He's 24 years old, and this is a player then who has great game intelligence with regards to then how he looks to read the game from the back. And he is a player then who has also captained teams that he's previously played for. So currently he does play for Raja Casablanca, but he has been linked to Mamelodi Sundowns. So when you have a look at him then, this is a player then who's got great game intelligence, leadership qualities, and he's left-footed as well, which is then a rare commodity within world football because there are not too many left-sided centre-halves who are left-footed and who are able then to add that quality and that value. So when you do have a look at Abdelmounaim then, this is a player then who has a great interception rate. So this isn't then a centre-back who's always going to ground or always having to make tackles. But by virtue of the fact that he reads the game very well, he is able then to anticipate and ensure that he's able then to intercept the ball. And what I like then about Abdelmounaim is that with regards then to defensive action. So a lot of the times then, whenever then a long ball is played, a lot of centre-backs do tend to head the ball away and clear it. But with him, what he does very well, then he's always sort of able to identify a teammate. So instead of heading the ball away, he'd always be able then to head the ball into the path of a teammate. And even then when he's just won the ball, this isn't a centre-back who then is just going to clear the ball away, but he will always then be able then to ensure that he's able then to play a pass into a teammate. So his ball retention then is quite good as well. So when you have a look at him then, he is very comfortable on the ball, very well and able with regards to progressing the ball within this left-sided half space. And then whenever then he does find himself in that wide channel on the left-hand side within vertical zone 1, very well and able then with regards to building up from the back and also then finding those long balls. So he's technical ability and his passing range is quite good as well, because this is a player then who can play then those diagonal balls whenever then he is looking then for his right-sided players, either a right-sided fullback or a right winger. And when you also then have a look at it from a defensive perspective, then he's well and able then to deal with the threat in the wide channel. So a lot of the times then, whenever a centre-back gets dragged wide, that is when sometimes they would find themselves in a spot of bother, because centre-backs don't like to get dragged into those wide areas where then they have to defend 1v1. But with Abdelmounaim, he does seem pretty comfortable in the wide channel. So when you do have a look at him then, I think this would be a player then who would add a lot of value for Mamelodi Sundowns, especially then considering his expertise and also considering then his experience then within the continent as well. Also then when you have a look at his qualities. So when you have a look at Mamelodi Sundowns then, they have struggled within the centre-back department with regards to having them fully fit, because towards the end of the season then they had to, at times come up with an alternative. So at times you did see Divine Lunga playing as a centre-back, because then they were struggling in regards to having all their centre-backs fully fit. So I do think that this is a player then who can add that quality and who can add that value. However, it's going to be interesting to see then when all the Sundowns centre-backs are fully available, who then would potentially partner him. I personally think that it would be Rushin Duruk as the right-sided centre-back, and it would be Abdelmounaim. But of course, this is of course if he does join, because he is linked. So we do know that in the transfer window that certain players are linked, but they don't end up joining. But if he does join, I think then he could potentially partner Rushin Duruk at the heart of defense for this Mamelodi Sundowns side. And when you do have a look at it then, I think last season, the best centre-back pairing at a point, it was Rushin Duruk and Brian Onyango. I think they did very well within the art of defense, especially within the CAF Champions League. And at some point, it was Grant Kekana and it was Rushin Duruk as well. But considering then Abdelmounaim, his qualities, and considering his age as well, it could then be a long-term signing for Mamelodi Sundowns, and he could then partner Rushin Duruk as well. However, like I did mention, this is then a player who has been linked, so there isn't any official news with regards to if he will join. But today's episode was just to see if where does he fit in and what qualities would he bring to this Mamelodi Sundowns side. So, ladies and gentlemen, do let me know, what do you make then of Abdelmounaim, and do you think that this would be a good signing for this Mamelodi Sundowns side? So, thank you very much for tuning in to yet another special episode of Diski Talk with Luyolo. Signing out.